Hit the chill back and you stand up, stand up. Start to move your body with your hands up, hands up. Rock it to and fro while they coming through the door. Now they leaning on the bar with the cans up, cans up. Hit the flow fast and you back up, back up. DJ got it lit, turn the track up, track up. Moving side to side, feel the rhythm start to ride. Now they stepping to the beat, never slack. Just how low can you go? Can you go? Can you drop it right down to the floor, to the floor? With a body like a demon, make the men start screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know. Ooh, how far down can you go? Can you go? Can you lay it right down on the floor, on the floor? With the body like a demon and the men still screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know, let them know, let them know, let them know, let them know. Lights turn low when they line up, line up. Shorty got the vibe, time to wind up, wind up. Everybody moving when the bass line hit, and the whole damn place gonna bind up, bind up. Bass hit hard and they jump up, jump up. Hands in the air, let it pump up, pump up. Moving left and right when the hook come tight. Everybody in the house shit, just how low can you go? Can you go? Can you drop it right down to the floor, to the floor? With a body like a demon, make the men start screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know. Ooh, how far down can you go? Can you go? Can you lay it right down on the floor, on the floor? With the body like a demon and the men still screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know, let them know, let them know.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me tweak my lighting just a little bit. Not much. Come here, light. There we go. No, I don't look like a vampire too much. I'm doing a little bit better, guys. Not a lot better, but a little bit better. I did get out today and to, I guess you'd call it a cars and coffee kind of a thing. There's a little car meetup, kind of a free-for-all deal, mostly hot rods, you know, old school stuff. And then we showed up and did what we always do. Disturbed the peace. I just uploaded a short. My dadgum monitor over here on the other side it's jacking up, man. It's giving me fits today and yesterday, so I'm not sure how much longer in the world it's going to be around. Oh my goodness. It's absolutely hideous. Can't see nothing with it. Let's see here. Is that little short live? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Let me find out here. Yeah, it's live. All right. So I got a new video up and then I got a short up too. El Fuego, Pacific Northwest. What's up, El Fuego? Man, I was doing better until I started talking and then everything breaks up. Marcus Morris, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. This thing is flashing. It's going to drive me crazy. I'm going to have to turn it off, I guess. I'll be all screwed up if I turn it off. I'm just going to have to ignore it. Hang on a second. Oh, now it stopped. Now it's working fine. Stay that way, son of a bitch. Bobby B's in the house. Frank Urib. What's up, man? Welcome. So yeah, I don't know what the hell we're talking about today. It's a Sunday. Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, I don't know, one of them words. El Fuego said, Bobby, stop milking the goats long enough to holler at him. Guys, I'm sorry I wasn't here Friday. Yeah, no doubt, El Fuego. I'm sorry I wasn't here Friday. Honestly, I went to sleep about 1:00 in the afternoon, and I figured I'd wake up, for by 9 to do the show. No, I woke up about 11:30 at night. I was like, well, I've been trying to sleep all I can so that I can, get well, but damn if I can't seem to get well. Where I'm taking antibiotics and whatever the hell. What is this? I don't even know what this is. I don't think I need to take that. No, I don't need to take none of that. That's something you take if you're constipated. That would not be good. We ain't got no bathroom right now, guys. Yeah, our main line going to the street is jacked up, and they're going to have to come out here tomorrow. They've been working on it for 2 days. They're going to come out here tomorrow and dig it up. So we're down to complicated things. It never ends, man. This stuff never ends. Fuego says, is it true that 150 dB can loosen up chest? Absolutely. It absolutely can, and it does every time I do a demo if I'm congested, but it just makes me cough, so it doesn't really help. Let's see. What is in here? Bobby B. What's up, Cadillac Don, man? Nice to see you tonight. Franco Quade's here. So I can do I'm around 157 now. In the kick, in the mid 56s in the glass. And I gave some powerful demos. Most of them today, I had to choke it off a little bit, break it off, because we were parked at this Hardee's, and I was not too far from the drive-through speaker, but they had all the classic cars and stuff up on the front side, toward the street, and we parked our crazy stuff back there toward the back of the building on the side, and I was kind of close to that drive-through speaker, so every time a car come through, I had to make sure I shut her down. I didn't want to disturb anybody trying to order their food, and we were doing a short burst of demos, so not to rattle the windows in the building too much and freak out the customers that were in the dining area. It's normal base head shit. I had the only build playing out there. We had one other guy out there that was playing, but he went to do one demo and forgot, I guess, that he had his subs wired to 2 ohms. I mean, wired to a 1/4 ohm for the show, last competition, and at a 1/4 ohm, things are sketch, and he's supposed to just do burps with it at that speed, at that ohm load, but he went and forgot about that and did a demo. Got about 30 seconds into it, and all the smoke come out of that amplifier. And but that is part of the game, we play. It's sad. I felt bad for him, but I don't know what to do, So I was the only one doing demos, and but it was good. It was fun. We had a lot of fun. It's a very chill atmosphere. Most of the hot rod guys were, say 60 plus. They were all sitting over there, had a little circle in the parking lot, sitting over there with the chairs, talking and doing their normal thing. And we kind of made our little circle underneath one of the tents over there. We had us a tent, and we just kicked back and was just talking and hanging out and doing the occasional demo and just having a good time. So it was a pretty nice day. Pretty nice little deal. And nice and cool outside. Some of the best stuff right there. And I know I'm just rambling on about, uh, basshead stuff. And I mean, that's what we do. Is this car audio world is kind of how this works. So I pulled the headrest out of off my seats. I'm going to kind of test and see how that affected the SPL amount of SPL that I was able to get, and I haven't metered that yet, which I should have today. I should have just took a meter up there with me. But I can tell you one thing right off the bat: it sounds different. It's distinctly different. Those headrests made a big difference in the way it sounds, and the way that the bass notes feel. That you can feel you can feel the wave hitting your back of your head now more. Before it shook everything. It was loud, but it wasn't. It didn't. It feels different. The bass note actually, you feel it hitting your head a lot more. It's getting that headrest out of the way, made for better skull bass. Yes, it is El Fuego. So we, I don't know. In the rules, it says that if the car came with if the seat came with a headrest, and on the front seats, you have to keep it on there. But I've seen so many people that are not running headrest. A lot of guys have taken and cut their seat down even. So they didn't just remove the headrest, they cut a chunk out of their seat and like folded it over and, made shorter seats. So I ain't tripping too hard on that. But I do like the way it sounds better without the headrest in there. Let's see here. A little better, yeah. Between dealing with this crap of my chest all messed up, I had lost my voice. I just got my voice back like yesterday, and it's still kind of on the sketch side, but it's mostly there. Can't sing right now for sure, but I can carry on a conversation. But the problem is I'm still getting a lot of drainage in my sinuses, back in my sinuses, and that drains down into my lungs, and so I'm constantly having to cough that crap out of my lungs, and that's making it hard for my vocal cords to finish healing. But I don't feel terribly bad, just miserable from all this crap has been stacking up, the stupid plumbing messing up, and now we got nowhere to go, pee or poo. We got one bathroom, so it wouldn't matter if we had 5 bathrooms. The line is, we got a duplex, and us and our neighbor both are affected by this. There's some kind of pipe problem out by the street, so we're on the same main line, and it's somewhere on the main line past his place. There's a problem, and so we can't really run any water or anything. My wife is, forgive me, my wife is one of those people that likes to take a shower like twice a day. She's a recreational showerer. That's like part of her. That's part of how she functions. She needs that shower to keep her brain right. And she's been beside herself because she didn't get to shower last night, and that just, yeah. And so, yeah, I told her I could take her up to the truck stop and get her a truck stop shower. And she turned it down this time, but I think if we go another day without a shower, she's probably going to take me up on it. Smoking an amp is a sad day. Yes, it was. It was a 5,000 watt amp. And I told him, man, I said, why are you running at a quarter ohm? He's like, well, it's for the, for the competition. I'm like, dude, they see, the way I look at that, man, is I mean, yeah, you can squeeze a little more power out of an amp, a quarter ohm or half an ohm or whatever. But here's the thing, man. If you know, my way of looking at it is, um, I if I can't get enough power out of my amp to do the job at 1 ohm, I just need the more amp. I need more amp and more amps. That's just the way I look at it. I'm not going to try to wring its neck and make it kick out some more power. Just get another one, or get a bigger one. That's just asking to blow stuff up, man. That's how amps fry, trying to run those stupid low ohm loads. And then, I mean, yeah, sure. And when you get box rise, ohm load's going to come up, but that's already factored in. And besides that, if you're playing a frequency, playing music, right? Playing a frequency that doesn't cause all that rise, now your amp is seeing, a 1 ohm or less load at a high power, and shit fries, man. You pull all that amperage through there, and it's going, dude, and that's how it bakes. But he'd still, yeah, I don't know. He just wants this stuff to be loud, and everybody has their own thing, and but I just don't do it, man. I don't play that game. I don't like burning up amps, so I don't play that game. Bobby said, "In a bucket." Yeah, I had a bucket that I had in my truck with a camping seat on top of it. It was the trick is to get a 7-gallon bucket. 5-gallon buckets are too short; they're awkward to sit on. But a 7-gallon bucket is a perfect height to sit on. But we had one of those in the closet, and I had it forever. And then my buddy, he come by one day. He's like, "Oh man, he took my bucket. I gave him my bucket, and he's got it now." But yeah, I don't have it now. I need to get me another one for backup. Because he would say shitter's full. I want to join Bobby's Clean Wire Club. The man has mad skills. He does. He's got skills, but what Bobby has is patience, and he's taking his time, and that's a bigger thing, really. Patience and just slowly, meticulously moving through the operation. And I try to have patience. I think I have pretty good patience, but not as much as Bobby does. Bobby's like, man, I work on this amp rack for the next 6 months. That's fine. That's cool because that's what he wants to do, and I dig it. Me, I have a little bit more of a crunch because I have to have things running to do the stuff that I do. So I have to I can't take too long. But yeah, Bobby's been watching guys over 5-star, man. Dean and Fernando. Dean's a freaking machine when it comes to amp, building an amp board. He's an absolute genius. You wouldn't think spacing your zip ties apart a specific amount would be that big of a deal. You say, well, they're close enough, and they are. But your eye will pick up on that. If there's one that's a 1/4 inch difference from the rest, your eye will be drawn straight to that, and you'll notice it. We notice patterns. So whenever that pattern looks like a damn centipede going across the board, and everything is spaced exactly the same amount, and all that stuff, holes all line up, and it shows, and people notice that, And I like to be able to see the wires on an amp rack. I don't like hiding them. That's just my personal, opinion. But guys, I want to show y'all something. I got permission to take you on a journey, and let me get this set up real quick. So bear with me. We're going to check something out today. I'm going to try to do it this way. Let's see. Video. I don't know. It's not there. All right, we got to go back. Let's go back. How far we're going back? Way back. And we go with a little something like this. Hit it. Bear with me, that's not it. I know it's on the Charles, no. Oh, where did I put that damn thing? Oh, there it is. All right. This guy, why is that running? When did I start that? My God. You know what? I don't even know what's going on like most of the time. Where's the damn thing at now? All right. There's that. I know y'all are probably just, yeah, I don't blame you. I would be too. Anyway, what this cat's doing is he's got a couple of different projects. One, he's working on a console down there, and to make it strong enough to brace the roof off of. And another is he's going to redo his roof supports. And I found it pretty interesting. So I want to pull up here and we're going to watch a little bit of this video.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for part 2 of the wood roof, stripper pole, and center console modifications. So if you watched the last video, you'll know that the center console that we finished, it didn't quite do the job. So, and also the wood roof, we're gonna have to pull that layer down to do it the right way. That way we ain't got to worry about it falling down at some point. So I've been brainstorming, trying to figure out something that I think would be stronger, obviously, but if this don't fix it, I don't know, I just give up at this point. But let me show you what I've come up with. So here was the first rendition of the center console, trying to beef it up. That way we can mount our base of our stripper pole and our future battery reserve right here. But this didn't cut it. But I think this might just do it. Now don't mind the construction adhesive. I just had some left over and I went back just very liberally over all the welds because I just kind of spot welded it and I just caked it on there because I mean it ain't gonna do nothing but help it. So anyways, I have come up, this is going to be the form, well, permanent form, because we're going to fill this thing up with concrete. So these are going to be all bolt hole locations. Alright, and over top of this, once the concrete is cured, we're going to have a piece of wood painted, obviously, and paint this thing as well. But
if you guys hadn't already found this guy's channel, Average Joe Car Audio. He's doing a pretty good job of doing some pretty cool stuff on a less than optimal budget. And, you know, like the stuff that we get into. So it's worthwhile giving a check out. He don't have a lot of subscribers right now, but he's producing really good content. So I asked him if he wanted to mind if I featured one of his videos, and that's what we're doing right now.
We'll have a layer of wood that will bolt to the top so you don't see the concrete stuff. But I've already weighed this thing whenever I was basically it was all done, and it was like almost 13 pounds. I think it was like 12.4 before I added these basically
this ended up being 57 pounds.
But yeah, I think
this chunk.
Like I said, if this don't cut it, I give up. But
if you guys have any questions or anything you want to, any topics, throw them up and we'll cover them.
We need to get to pouring some concrete in this bad boy. So hopefully once it's all said and done, I want you to take a second, pause the video, drop down in the comments, and tell me what you think this thing's going to weigh when it's all said and done. So right now, as it sets, we'll just say it's 13 pounds. So go drop your guesses down below. But without further ado, let's get the mixing some concrete.
I see it. I was watching what he did here. I think I would have went with the fiberfill concrete, but this will do the job.
All right, got the concrete all mixed up. Got a nice consistency going here. I think that'll work. And we got the console slash form setting up here. We're just making sure, getting everything pretty much close to level. But that way, and this way as well. That way everything, all the concrete settles nice and even. Used almost a whole 50-pound bag of concrete on this thing. I didn't think it was going to take this much. But yeah, needless to say, this thing's going to be beefy. But got all the concrete poured, nice and level. So now we just got to play the waiting game for about 4 or 5 days. But in the meantime, we still got to work on the wood roof, pull it down, finish it. Got to get a top piece cut out for this. Get our bolt hole locations plotted out, pre-drilled, countersunk. So let's get on that right now.
A little shot of the dimensions. If you guys have anything you want to discuss or any questions, throw them in the chat and we'll cover them. Again, this is Average Joe Car Audio's channel. If you haven't been over there, you might want to check it out. He's got the right tools. He made a little mistake when he did the roof the first time, and he's going to correct it in this video. And it'd be good for you guys. This is what he's going, the way he's going to do it is the right way. Not the way I did it, but the way he did it.
All right, so now on to the fun part. Now, we got to get that first.
Let me pause this real quick and let you guys know. The 2 panels up here on each side were permanent. The one panel he's got in the middle right now was just a temporary piece he put up there to make the show. He was going to cover the whole thing with another piece and make it look right. That one in the middle is just for him to be able to make the show that he was trying to make, so he had to hurry up and get something up there. But the ones underneath it were going to be permanent. I'll let him explain it now. Thank you, Cody. I'm glad you showed up, buddy. And yeah, El Fuego said hit the like, smash it, man. It don't cost nothing.
Layer down so we can remove all that butyl deadener, get that surface clean. But I'm going to leave this second layer that's just screwed on to those pieces. I'm going to leave that up there, and that'll help with weight and just kind of controlling it all coming down. So game plan, got a heat gun, and I just started testing in a little section right here.
Am I working on music? I've got a couple of tracks that I've got in the mill right now, and I'm still filling my way through them. About 1 out of every 10 songs that I cook up actually makes it coming out, because I don't think that the ones, most of the time they're not up to my standard. So it takes me a while. Once I get a track done, I'll run it up and put it on a private video, and then I'll run it on my Tahoe system, and I'll run it on headphones, and I'll run it on the phone, and I'll run it on the computer, and I'll run it on the TV, and it's got to sound good on everything. So it takes me a while.
Just kind of heating up the roof a little bit. And as you can see, it's already coming loose.
Do y'all see what happened here? He put those boards up. He used PL3, but he already had the deadener on the roof, and so he glued to the deadener. That was a mistake. Even though he did peel the foil off when he glued it up there, he didn't have the foil, but that butyl was in between the glue and the metal, so it didn't hold very well. And when he put some heat on the roof, now he can just pull it loose like that.
Because that deadener is getting hot. So that just goes to show you right there why they say not to PL over top of deadeners.
Rolando, where can I find your music? Love it. What is the best way to play it so that it sounds the best in my Caro system? Digital audio processor. Maybe if you've got you need subs, big ones. And I always run a digital processor because it gives you more control over your system. As far as where you can find it, for the most part, my rebase stuff, I'm putting it on YouTube. So you just go to my main home screen and go to playlist, and then look for the demo playlist in there, and you can find most of the stuff. I do have a SoundCloud that I use sometimes, and if I get enough people asking me about it, I'll go ahead and upload all this stuff to SoundCloud, and I'll create a playlist on SoundCloud and then put a link to it. That's pretty much the gist of that.
So you get this heat gun heating up and getting this sucker pulled off of it.
See, that's bad. That come down so
like
easy.
I was saying, I knew I probably wouldn't be able to reuse these pieces, but I can still get them traced out and get some new ones cut out. But as you can see, yeah, it didn't stick to nothing but the deadener. So now we get to remove all that, get it.
So now, for anybody out there that's wanting to do any kind of thing like this, this is an example of why you don't do it that way. So this is a good learning experience. It'll save you from having to go back and do what he's going to have to do.
Cleaned up. That way we can really secure it this time.
That's a lot of work, man. He's having to scrape all that butyl off the roof.
So now got all the deadener removed. Got a nice clean surface to mount to now. So I wanted to give it a little try here. So I just used the heat gun and a wood chisel. And I just slowly started getting that PL peeled off of the wood here. So what I'm thinking is I do not want to mount this side to the wood again. So what I'm going to do is say you take this side and then you flip it to that side. Then you would have a good clean surface mount to the metal.
Now you notice he had those lines there. When he originally cut those, and it was a good idea, cutting those lines, those deep grooves in that wood, plywood, allowed the PL to be able to sink into there, and that would have been excellent. It also allowed the wood to have enough flexibility to form to the slight curvature of the roof. So,
see there? So this is the side that would actually mount to the metal. And this is the side that would be visible when you're looking up at, like, if you're sitting in a seat and you look up, you would see this. But you actually wouldn't, because there's going to be another layer over top of this covering it. So I think that's the route that I'm going to go. So now, just got to get this other mess peeled off here. And then we can get the gluing these babies back up there. Alright, so I think this is about as good as I'm going to get with getting all that PL and stuff off of here. So like I said, this side is the side that's going to be getting glued to the roof. So this side will be what the second layer gets glued and screwed to. And I went back on my grooves and actually cut them about, I don't know, another 1/8 of an inch maybe deeper, just to help whenever I go to push up on them, it kind of forms to the roof curvature slightly, which is pretty much flat anyways, but I want to do it just to be on the safe side. And swung by the old Wally World, and since I'm going to be needing these when I do the van, I went ahead and got me 2 of these cargo.
And that is a those things, those cargo braces, are extremely cool. If you don't have something like that at Walmart, you can always find the ones at the truck stop. They have them that shrink up into like quarters, that they collapse like telescopic, so you can fit them in fairly small spaces. But if you're going to be attaching any kind of panel from wood to metal, you're going to need some stuff like that. And you can use 2x4s cut, a little bit long, and jam them in there. But these things are really good to start the process. You'll see what he does.
Bars. So I'm going to be using one on each side, obviously in the center, to jack it up to the roof. And then probably go back on the 4 corners with some 2x4s just to help evenly put pressure on the wood. And while I'm at it, might as well, so we don't have to address this ever again, I'm going to be using the PL Max Premium. So I think this is going to do the trick. But it's already dark outside. I'm going to get a light set up. That way maybe you can see what I'm doing. But without further ado, let's get to throwing these things back in the truck finally.
See, even he has the seats modified. I see a lot of guys like doing that. I'm not worried about it too much. His setup is pretty crazy. He's got a single cab truck and a blow through in his back window. He really built that box right this time, man. That box he's got in there now, it's nasty. Again, if you guys have any questions, any comments, anything that you want me to try to address, be sure and throw those up there on the thingamajigger, and I will address them. Now, a lot of people just like to use Sound Under on these big old wide panels, but this is honestly a much better solution. It just takes work to get it all started. Now you can see how he's using that jack, that load pole, put pressure in that on that panel. Those wide flat roof panels have so much flex on them if you don't put some bracing in there. Not only does it suck up the base, keep your base from getting high pressure, but it also makes noise, rattles that roof, and that also can destroy the metal because you can start splitting and cracking where it's vibrating and moving. So bracing it up is going to save you your base and your vehicle.
So finally got her all braced up. Got the 2 cargo jacks on each piece, plus 4 2x4s in each corner. Making sure we got good adhesion to that roof. But I'm gonna let this cure for probably about 2 days because I'm not gonna be able to work on it tomorrow. But the last thing I'm gonna do is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this
Bobby, pay
center
attention.
roof brace right here. So you see that hole? I'm just gonna take some of this. Got some Loctite top foam. Now everybody that I've seen recommends this stuff just because it's really dense.
All right, let me cover something real quick, guys. When it comes to Expandafoam, all right, if you're going to use the stuff out of a can, I use it all the time. But I made the mistake of buying what they call the wide gap filler. You don't want that. You don't want the foam that expands up a lot. You want the foam that has the smallest amount of expansion you can get. The reason is that foam will be much, much harder whenever it solidifies. So it's much denser and much stronger. The foam that expands a whole lot will cover a larger area and fill up a larger gap, but it's going to be softer and smushier in the end.
And I'm just going to go back and fill in that hole, and probably this gap right here because I won't be able to fit a piece right here. But other than that, I'm gonna just get that spray foam sprayed, that way it's curing while the PL's curing. But yeah, I got the trash bag all taped up, that way won't get no mess. But yeah guys, I will see you in 2 days. So now we've given that first layer ample time to cure.
So Rolando asked, what do you think about the B2 1800 4-channel? I'm debating on between that one and the Slaps 500 by 4 for the mids. The B2 is so pretty, it makes it hard not to choose that one. Yeah, I mean, as far as functionality, they're going to be pretty much very, very similar. You get the B2 name and the look. I do have a coupon code with them, so if you use CAE at the B2 Audio USA site or at Big Jeff, either one, you'll save money on it. But I mean, you're paying so much more for that amp, and I know with the 504 will absolutely slam whatever the hell you hooked it up to. So I mean, I can recommend both of them. They're both going to do the job, but you're going to pay a lot less for the Slaps amp, and you're going to get the same performance. So that's the only input I can really give you. Unless there's a feature on those, the B2 amp. I can't remember if there's any specific little feature they might have that you might need. If that's the case, then that would be the amp. If not, I would pick the Slaps. I mean, I can run either one, and you see what I'm running.
I'm gonna go ahead and get these braces taken down, and I may or may not. No, I did.
Oh, is it really $279? Let me check on something real quick. Oh goodness gracious, this thing's blowing up again, this damn screen. That's the 3K. Let's see here. Where's it at? There it is. So yeah, that's not a bad price. If you caught it on sale for $279, go for it, bro. Throw my discount on code on there, maybe get a little more off.
I got carried away with the foam right here, and instead of just filling up that hole, I tried to fill in that whole section. So now I'm gonna have to go back, maybe myself put even more work on my plate, but
it went just a little bit crazy
now. That way,
I know that
whenever
feeling.
I put the second layer on, I can spray it on that piece of wood and then attach it. So yeah, note to self, if you're gonna be putting another layer, don't try and fill a gap just yet. But real quick, I want to show you that center console.
Oh yeah, this looks good.
Like. So this bad boy's been curing for about 4 days now, so I think it's about time to see what she weighs.
Y'all reckon that's
First, I
gonna
want
do
to
the
see,
job?
this is the old one, the original console. Let's see what it weighs. 7.8. Alright, now let's see what the big mama weighs. 56 pounds, baby. God almighty. How heavy is your console?
Hey, no problem, man. That is a good question. The Loser Zero said, what mids are you going to run? He's talking to you, Rolando. I'm curious as well. The youngin' over having some fun. Audio, is that audio pipe M67? Or am I misreading that?
So while I'm waiting on
Okay,
that paint to
Def
dry, went ahead and got
Just a heads up on the Def Monts. Every single mid that Def Mont sells is always oversized. So if you've got a pre-existing hole, you're very much likely going to have to trim it out. Just a heads up on that. If you got custom speaker pods or a factory 6.5 hole, anything like that, there's a real good chance you're going to have to trim those. So be prepared for that. Have you, some kind of trimming situation prepared.
me some more cardboard so I could get a template cut out for the second layer here.
Oh yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go ahead and trace that out and just leave a little extra. That way I can go back and trim if I need to. But yeah, let's get this.
That'd be a good plan. Just remember what I said about the drivers. They're going to be tight. They always are, every single time. It's just the basket. The basket's always just a little bit oversized on those drivers.
Get it cut out and then get a little test fit.
See, I like the way he thinks through everything. That's where you save yourself a lot of work.
Alright, so after a lot of test fitting and trimming and cutting and more test fitting, I think it's gonna work. I think that's good enough for me. So right now we're just gonna leave it at the 2 layers. I'm not sure if I'll go back to a 3rd one, maybe, I don't know. But I need to get this done, guys, because it's Friday, November 7th, 4:39 in the afternoon. And Ruckus is tomorrow. So yeah, I gotta get this crap done, get it buttoned up. I'm not even gonna film it. It's just putting a bunch of PL on that second piece, screwing it to those that first layer. Gotta get the console mounted, get the stripper pole in. I gotta go through this thing, make sure all the fluids is good. Check the tire pressure, all that good stuff.
It's a clean little truck too, ain't it?
And just pack, I guess, for tomorrow. But I don't want to leave you guys hanging as far as the SPL. Maybe did we gain on the meter? I don't know. So
we'll get one more little
treat. Ruckus where we're going to be doing a little meter testing, so I'll see you there. Well, I got some good news, I got some bad news. So the good news is, got our stripper pole, got it mounted, got the wood roof finished, and we got our concrete,
that's what you want to see,
steel center console, transmission tunnel slash more room for activities for battery reserve mounted. So got everything wrapped up, was able to make it to Ruckus the next day. Man, that was a freaking blast. If you didn't,
yeah, if you get, I don't know if you guys can hear him or not.
Highly encourage you to try and make it to next year, because man.
But what he's going to be saying is he
unfortunately was not able to stay.
He didn't
for
get
Saturday.
He didn't get a good meter reading or a good video of his meter whenever he was in the lane.
Man, it was.
But
so
his buddy
much
did get a shot.
Freaking awesome! Like all the big bills you want, man. It was a fun time. But the bad news is, when we finally went to get on the meter to see if we made any improvements or anything like that, I was so focused on kind of operating everything and monitoring everything, I was just basically holding the camera, and I'll try and throw some clips in there so you can see what I'm talking about. But there was a glare on the screen, and I didn't notice that the camera wasn't picking up the screen. So yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to get any clear footage.
That's so much to try to keep track of. I deal with it too.
But I'll drop another video here. My buddy was standing outside in a different at a different angle, and he took a small clip. And as you can see,
not too shabby, huh?
Like 4,600 watts, I think, and that's not even RMS of what these subs will take. So yeah, what's happening is the voltage.
Now bear in mind, guys, he's running 415s in a fourth ported into his cab, and he's running them on like a 5,000 watt amp covering all of them. So he's only getting maybe half the power of what they need. He's going to be doing some much, much better numbers once he gets a little bit more amplifier power. You guys definitely want to go check this cat out, because he does good stuff, and he's got some really good builds, some really good build videos. So Average Joe Car Audio. When you go over there, be sure and tell him I sent you. I know, not a normal format for me tonight, and that's because I'm not really feeling that great, but I wanted to give this guy some shout outs and some love, because I like the content he makes, and I think he does a good job. Wonder how that video is doing. Oh, that reminds me, guys, check this out. Let me show you something else. The video on this is coming soon, and you may not be able to see it very well, but it is a crimper. So this part has mounting holes, so it can mount down on the table, and then this part can be operated with one hand. So you all see that? Yeah. Right? And then when you get to there, it's a kind of ratchets down like a vice grip. And there's a cutter on here, as well as 0 gauge all the way down to 8 gauge. Multiple gauges. So you just slide the lug in there and do the thing. This review for this is coming up real soon. So I think it's going to be a killer crimper. I don't know if it's going to be able to replace the one that I currently use, because I really like the way it crimps. But we're going to try it and see how it goes. So if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, be sure and slap it right now. Let's see here. Underrated says, new to car audio. I got 2 Sundown E10s bumping on an SAE-V4. 1,000. So you got 2 Sundown 10s on 1,000 watt mono, in your Civic. Good. Well, let's see. You're running the Sundowns. That's a good solid start. You got 1,000 watts on them. That's a reasonable amount of power to expect out of what's probably a pretty much or close to stock system. So I would say, well, there's a lot of options, man. In a Civic, I'm thinking you have 6.5s in the doors. You don't have any power on them yet. The first thing I would do is I would pick up the B2 DSP that's on the wall behind me back here. This guy. And if you're trying to keep things without paying a crazy amount of money, pick up this little Slaps amp right here. This little 4-channel mini. Those two items right there will handle your front stage. That DSP is like 160 and that little amp's like $100. So for $260, you can get your power and you get a DSP to run your whole system through. And well, there's lots of options for speakers, but I really like my Slaps 6.5s. If you head over to Slaps Audio and look at the 6.5s there with that amplifier, you'll get plenty of volume out of those. They'll keep up with that 1,000-watt system, no problem. And you can do all of that for a really good price. The little Slaps 6.5s are not expensive at all. And they sound really good. I'm going to give you a price. So I don't have them all memorized, but I've got 4 of them out there in my little shop. So yeah, you get a pair. For a pair, you're paying $52 for a pair. And then Slaps also has a set of tweeters for a pair, less than $30. Those with that little 4-channel amp, you can run 2 channels on the tweeters and 2 channels on those mids. Put those in the front doors on that 4-channel amp back there with that DSP, and your front stage will be rock solid. You will need to put some sound deadener in those doors and get those solid, but you'll be in real fine shape with that equipment. Hello, what's up, Rolando? Whoa, I don't have my. I don't even have it. I don't even have my freaking thing queued. But thank you very much for your super chat. I haven't had anybody give me a super chat in like a month, I guess. Man, this is how I make my living, so I appreciate it. I appreciate the tacos, man. If you end up going, there's old corn nut in the house. If you end up going with that setup, my discount code CAE will work for all that equipment. So you'll get money off on that. Already, the price is already good, and you can take 10% more off of all those prices and save even more. That DSP, man, I'm so thanks for Orlando. I'm still getting over that. That DSP is an absolute must. You'll be able to run your sub amp through it and everything, and get everything under control. You can do EQs on each individual speaker. You can set crossover points for everything. It's the most important piece of equipment in there. So absolutely, man. Let's see here. Let's see. Real Cisco Montano. Do you think the smart amplifiers are a requirement when it comes to subwoofer amplifiers? I'm not a huge fan of the smart amps. They work well in singles, but you can't run them in doubles. I just don't, the technology that does that can cause issues in different ways. I just stick with pure power, man. One of the Slaps 8Ks, the Shock 8Ks, or the Shock 5K, those things are absolutely stellar amplifiers, and they're going to give you all the power you need and give it to you at a really good cost. And that's what I'm running in my Tahoe, and I wouldn't change it if somebody gave me amplifiers. That the equipment that I'm running has been absolutely phenomenal, and I beat the brakes off of the stuff that I run. I mean, I punish it on a constant. If you watch any of my videos, I just uploaded a couple just a little bit ago. You watch the videos, you'll see how bad I torture that stuff, and it just gives and gives and gives. And there's no other way to tell you better how awesome that gear is than to try to murder it, and it just keeps going. Right? That, to me, that says everything. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's my take. Smart amps are great as long as they're working right and everything is right. I'm not crazy about them. Cornut says DD Audio D series. Sure, yeah. I mean, Recoil's got good mids too. But I like the in the DD Audio. I have no problem with that. There's quite a few different companies out there I'd recommend, but I mean, the little Slaps 6.5s are just freaking awesome, and they're going to give you what you're looking for, and at a price that you can't beat. I mean, if the tomato sauce is tomato sauce, tomato sauce. I'm going to buy the cheapest damn one. Underrated, and nice to see you tonight, Cornut. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you. No problem, brother. Cornuts are not the cheapest, but if you have a DSP to give that, absolutely, man. Absolutely. A DSP is a absolute must. The new Down for Sound DSP 16 channel is my plan. Now, Cornut answered that. I'd rather support B2 over Down for Sound. Yeah, and honestly, I think it's a better DSP. Even if it's the same exact internally, I'm with Cornut. I'm gonna just kind of leave it. I don't want to dog on anybody. But yeah, I would rather back B2 as well. So, and I know that DSP. I'm using that right now. I use it every day. It's in here. It handles all of my audio. I'm running. That's where I get my audio. I'm running a 12-inch sub. I was running a 15-inch sub. I'm running a 12-inch sub and two 6.5 off this amp. That's what does the sound for my studio, and it's all running through that DSP. So I run it every day, and it stays on. And that shit stays on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't ever get turned off. It just sits up there and it's on. So, rolling is 4 tweeters too much? Not really. I mean, you can run as many tweeters as you want. If you have a DSP, you have the ability to attenuate them. So you can turn them all down. You can run 20 and just keep the volume level where you want it. The thing about tweeters is, the main thing about tweeters is you want to try to have them as high up in your sound field as you can get them. But there's trade-offs. I mean, like having them close to the mid driver is really, really important. And having that mid driver and the tweeter as high up as you can get them is important. But sometimes you can't have either one of those options. But I'm running 16,000 watts on 415s in my Tahoe. I'm running a single Pro Audio tweeter in each door and a single Slaps 10 in each door. And then I've got a 3 on the A-pillars. That's an Audio Dynamics 3 that I run. I'm running like 60 watts through those. but they're just a little bit of presence to pull my sound stage up. So just to give you an idea of what kind of power I'm running on subs, and that one slaps tweeter, that slaps the big one, the Street Pro tweeter, the titanium. That one tweeter and that 10 in each door keeps up with that, with those 415s. I'm doing like 157 dB, and they keep up with that. So it's up to you how you roll. Just telling you what I'm doing. Yep, I agree, brother. I agree. What ohm are your slaps 15? Mine are 2 ohms, dual 2s. So just put it in your brain. If you're going to run 4, you want dual 2s. If you're going to run 2, you want dual 4s. So you want 4s for 2 and 2 for 4s. You know, you don't want to have 4 ohms for 4 subs. That's bad. 2 and 4, you want to mix them up. That gives you a 1 ohm load at the end. Now, actually, I'll take it back. I'm running 2 amplifiers, so I'm actually running 2 dual 4s. And then I'm running four dual 4s, but I'm running 2 on each amp. So I get 1 ohm load on one amp and a 1 ohm load on the other amp. Sorry about that. And what guitar amps are slaps? I'm running slaps, man. I'm at DSP to tone down. DSP to tone down the 4 to 8K on the D series mids. They have a lot of emphasis in that range, so I pull it back a bit. Yeah, you can get kind of hot, but some vehicles will eat that range, so it actually ends up, it all depends on whether or not the vehicle is absorbing the hell out of the range. Sometimes a speaker that's hot in a certain area ends up working out, pretty good in one vehicle and not so much in the other. But one of the most important things, man, as far as those front doors are, is getting them sealed up and with sound deadener, getting them all the vibration killed and getting a good solid seal. Try to create as much of an enclosure behind that driver as you can. Obviously, be careful you don't get in the window track, so you're blocking the window from rolling down. But just keep that in mind when you if you're going to do the pods. I like to take and cut the hole out in the panel, then put the pods on. Once I get those bolted down, I come in with sound deadener and I run sound deadener around the edge so that I'm wrapping that sound deadener around the connection with the pod and the door. I go all the way around with it, and I mean, lay it in there, get the heat gun on it, and just crimp it and crush it and squeeze it in there as tight as you can to seal that off to there. And then on the door panel behind your door, the card on the metal, get your sound deadener on that too. So when you get it all put together, it creates a nice little cavity for those speakers to play in with nothing moving around. That's how I like to do it. Rolando said, problem is I'm planning on having 13 or 14 channels. B2 only goes up to 12. Run 2 of them. Just run 2. I mean, you could run 2 of those and you can run 2 of those and still save money. That's just that simple. Just run 2. Do dual subs count as one channel? Yes. You can. All your subs are going to be on one channel. You don't want to separate those. So yeah. A 1 channel per sub, 9.5K added for both. Yeah, that's solid, man. It's a good amplifier. I ran that same exact amplifier. It's a good amplifier. But yeah, do 1 channel for that amplifier. Even if you're running 2 amplifiers or 4 amplifiers, you're still going to run 1 channel to all those amplifiers, all the subwoofer amplifiers. Fuego said a corn nut, hardcore stereo for the win. G-Body said about to order the Slaps 12s. I was showing my brother to build earlier. Awesome, man. I do my best, you know. Let's see here. That sounds good, man. I'm glad to hear it. You're going to be happy. Rolando said, I didn't know I could run two of them together. Oh yeah, you can. And of course, you know, depending on how you run your amplifiers, sometimes they're strapped. If they're strapped, or you know, it don't matter if you run them. If you're running two amplifiers, for example, on subs that aren't strappable, right? So you're not strapping them. You just have to gain match them. But you'd run like either run an RCA splitter to them, or you'd run, if it has an in and an out. Some amps have an RCA in and an RCA out. You can run the RCA into one and then out from the other one to the end to the other one to jump. And then all of that collection, no matter how you do it, is going to equal one channel. What's up, Frank? Oh man, you guys are so cool. I love hanging out with y'all. I got a little more in me. Frank said, how's everybody doing tonight? We are getting by, man. I'm wondering how that video is doing over there. I just uploaded it right before the show started. And I'm curious. Let's see here how well it's doing. Okay. So we got a few views on that one. That's good. And this one is doing pretty good too. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the support I get from my community. Oh yeah, that's doing, both of those videos are doing good. I'm so excited. You guys are awesome. So has anybody else got any questions for me tonight? I will hang out here a few more. If it's got questions, we'll continue. If no questions, we're going to be checking out here in a minute because I'm going to get some rest. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys for stopping in tonight. And you can always, if you're watching this later or if I miss you or whatever, leave comments on the bottom of the live. I will get those comments and I answer every single comment that I get. Oh, Rob Payne has a question. Let's see here. Your thoughts on mid-range speaker baffles. Do they hurt or help mid-bass? It depends. If you have a rattle trap for a door, they're going to probably help you. They will definitely keep it from getting wet, which is a big plus. They're going to reduce some of the like 200 to 300 range is probably going to get reduced a little bit. But if you've got a good solid subwoofer that's bringing in lows pretty good, you're probably not going to have any issues. So it really just depends. Like sometimes it helps and sometimes it doesn't. What does help though is if you're still using factory doors, is those full foam rings that goes around them to connect the outside edge of the speaker to the plastic, so it creates that little tunnel. You do those and get it right. Those absolutely are a huge help. If you're still using, doors, regular door locations, huge help. They make a big difference. Sometimes the foam cups help and sometimes they don't. So it's kind of a toss up. But even if it turns out that they hurt, right? Just go in there and cut the back out of it and to keep the protection over the speaker and allow them to breathe out the back of it if you run into that. But like I said, it's mixed. Rolando said, my plan is an 8-inch mid bass and a 1-inch 6.5. The door, should I add a tweeter to that? Yes. If you don't have a tweeter anywhere else, you should absolutely add a tweeter to that. But you might also consider using like a 2.5-inch driver. Like, for example, these guys. It's the SA 2.75, and if you're one of those people that like to blow tweeters, these are actually a really good solution. These little 2 3/4 inch speakers will play 20K, and as long as you're not feeding them stupid power, they will absolutely replace a tweeter if you're someone who beats the hell out of tweeters. They're going to give you a lot of that range, and I like the way these sound. I actually have put these little dudes right here on a full range signal, and then I put them on I put them in a little box, and I set them full range frequency, and played music quite a bit through them on some of the tests I was doing. And they're obviously not meant for that, but they handled it no problem. Testament to a well-designed driver. And the price on them is really good. They're not expensive at all. That is the optimal solution right there. Because you're going to be pulling most of your vocals and upper instruments through that 3.5. I run my 3.5 at like 400 hertz and up, because I give my shit a plate full of beans, and I need it to be protected. So I run mine at 400 hertz and up, 4 or 450, I can't remember. And then let it hand off. You can let it run all the way up, or you can let it hand off to the tweeter at like, 5K or something like that. Usually a good solution. And the reason you want that is because those two little speakers, those two little 3.5s, are going to literally make your soundstage. So you're going to get a tremendous, like, super good stereo image and a nice high image. It's a game changer, man. Running 3.5 and a tweeter and an A-pillar, it's an absolute game changer. I don't want to ever go back to not having that. That fixes so many problems and makes everything sound so much better. El Fuego's checking out. See you later, El Fuego. Nice to have you, brother. And that I'm doing. Right now, actually, my tweeters and my A-pillars are not hooked up. I'm using the tweeters and the doors. The thing is, the 3.5s and the A-pillars is going to be the big game changer, not the tweeter. So if you... the tweeter, your ear doesn't really care where the tweeter highs come from. It's more focused on what's coming out of that 3.5. That's the key. That's the key piece. If you got a tweeter location to put one up there, do it. But if you don't, it's not the end of the world. That 3.5 is going to carry 90% of what you're needing to hear up there. And tweeters work everywhere. But yeah, if you're going to get the pods that have the tweeter and 3.5, then absolutely do that. And you don't need to run them in a door. You might, if you're someone who likes to scream, likes your music loud, you might want to. You might want to add a set down in there just to get a little bit more volume out of it, But there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to worry too much about imaging, about soundstage and time alignment on your tweeters, because just how they work. When you're doing your time alignment and stuff, you need to focus on the 3.5s more than anything, because they're going to be like almost all of what your brain is processing. So you can put tweeters anywhere. Ideally, putting them with the mids is best, but you won't notice a broken image by putting tweeters in the doors and the A-pillars. Your image will still hold up really good, and you'll get more tweeter more of the crisp highs, you know, and without putting less power on them, you can still get more for less power. So it doesn't hurt. So either way, it works. Rob said, good night, bro. Thanks for another great. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping in. You want me to give you an honest recommendation? You ain't going to like it. You're not going to like it. But head over to Audio Dynamics website and pick up the 3000 series 3.5s. That's what you want. You ain't gonna like it, but that's what you want. I've been running them now for 3 years. Like I said, you know what kind of crap I do to my stuff, so, and they still sound perfect. But yeah, it's going to sting, but they're worth it. That's my recommendation. Let's see here. Hey, that's not a problem, man. 3.5 versus a 4. It's going to be about the same. You're probably not going to like the 4 as much because it's going to hang out a little more in your A-pillar and give you a blind spot. And 3.5 is going to be able to do what you want it to do anyway. So, but yeah, that'd be my suggestion. That's what I would do, bro. You asked, so I gave you mine. That's what I did. It's what's in my vehicle. And I don't get anything from Audio Dynamics. I probably could because I know them. I know the guys, but they build quality stuff. And like I said, it's going to sting a little bit, but you'll appreciate it in the end. Hey, man, I do what I can. And even if I'm not on live, if you leave me detailed questions in the comment section on any video, I will do my best to respond to that and give you the best answer I can. But don't assume that I remember what you're talking about from the show. If you want to leave a comment, start from scratch. Hey, I'm doing this and this and this. What should I do? Because I won't remember your build most likely. I answer a lot of questions about a lot of builds, and so my brain just takes it in, works the problem, and then pushes it over here somewhere for the next thing to come in. It's just the way it has to function. But I appreciate you guys, and glad we can hang out. And y'all have another good night. And let's go ahead and get the duck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here banging up and down the street, slamming it to the ground. Big subwoofers are getting loud. You can feel the booming sound. Getting ready to go. Got it shined up for the show. Hours charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Fires are glowing and the amps smoking. Subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming. Gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go. 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice coils are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.
Hang on a minute. I got something for you guys. It's from the day. Yeah, I know the sound's off.